Welcome to the lab for the advanced Photoshop section. So what we're going to do is the first thing you need to do is go to Canvas, click the file link, and go and download those links out of those files out of Google Drive. Okay, so I have one of them here, but I'm just going to go ahead and open it. I'm not sure if this is going to show up on the screen or not, but it is the Photo Advanced group. So the first one is the blur. And what it basically is a photograph that has a flower in it, but the background is just about in the same amount. It's not falling off enough. It's too busy. And so the best way to take care of that is a blur. Now, there's a lot of long ways to do it, or you could go back and take the photograph again if you could. But if you can't, let me show you what you can do. We're going to go to Filter. And before we get started, I want to make sure that this image is in the right mode. So I'm going to go to under Image to Mode, and it is in RGB, that's fine. But I have had some issues with 16-bit channels, so I am going to go up to the 8-bit. It doesn't visually change anything on the screen, but let's look and see. Yep, everything's open. Sometimes one of the things will be grayed out, and well, I don't want that. All right, so blur is whenever you blur the entire thing. Let me just show you really quick. Preview. You just slide the slider to get it more blurry. And so you see it's affecting everything, flower and all. So I don't want to do that. I am going to do a blur gallery. That gives me control. I'm going to just show you how all of them do. Okay, so this one, you just pin it to a place and then you slide this for the blur. You can make it super blurry or you can make it less blurry. Or you could use this too. That's if you want a real pinpoint of an effect. Okay, I don't want to continue with that one, so I'm going to uncheck it and close that up and go to the iris blur. Okay, this one is a little more adjustable. You can pin it to where you want it to be, and then you can make that wider. You can make that wider. You can adjust the amount of blur you want. So if there's very little blur or if there's a lot of blur, you can, even after you've blurred it, you can move it out and readjust the blur. And these little guys move out too to show where the blur starts. So now you've got something that you can actually use to make the background go completely blurred. Let me move this little thing here, and I'm going to take, see, all of these move in tandem, so I'm just going to move them all up here. Now we've got something that is beginning to look like it's going to work. You just have to adjust and adjust to make sure that you've got everything that you want blurred and the things that you don't want blurred, that they're in good focus. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so I'm going to undo that one, which was a very good choice for this particular image. Here is tilt blur. And so what this does is you can bring it down to pin it to where you want it, and then you can tilt it and make it blur so that you've got blurs on top and bottom or side to side, but the middle section, the whole section is in focus. You can distort. I don't see it doing oh, it is distorting a little bit. But anyway, you just play around with these to see which one works best for you. I'm going to undo tilt. Now path blur. This one, oops, I'm getting a second one on there. So I've got all of it moving that direction. I can change the speed and you can see that it's starting to look like it's going really fast. Taper just sort of changes it a little bit on one side. Centered blur, let's uncheck that. Tapered. All right, let's bring this back down. So if this was a person or a car or something like that, it would look like it was going really fast. And you can change this endpoint speed. And now it looks like it's just flying off the page. So that one's a nice one to play with also. Uncheck. Spin blur. So this is for the center. And let's just move these out a little bit so that we can spin the entire flower. There we go. Sometimes those little things are hard to get to cooperate. Okay, so right now we can see what it looks like with nothing. And we slowly but surely add more and more spin to it until it's just an entirely different thing altogether. You've created an entirely different effect. Okay, there's so many more layers to this, and I just don't want to overwhelm you with all the different things that you can do with this one. So I'm just gonna leave it there. You can experiment with them. You can do whatever you want just to play with it. It's a very fun thing to do. All right, so let's go to the next photograph. And remember, you do not have to save this one. So I'm just gonna don't apply. Okay, there we go. Don't save. So the next one, I'm gonna open the file again, is a face adjustment. Okay, let's open that one. Before we get started, let's go ahead and do a little bit of um, cleaning on this one. I'm just gonna do a quick level. I'm just gonna do this, drag over to the black, drag over to the white, adjust the center a little bit. Still not a good photograph. It was taken out in the really bright sunshine with the Monahan sand dunes behind, and it just isn't very. It's a flat photo. But make sure that you have the photograph of the little boy selected. It has the extra frame around it. Okay. Now we're going to go back up to filter, and it's going to be liquify that we pick this time. I know that's not very intuitive, is it? It could be fix a face or something, but it's not. They call it liquify. So I choose that and I get another screen and it automatically identifies the face. You see these little things that come up, the eyes and the nose and the mouth. It all identifies the face. So it really should be face adjustments. But anyway, so it has face aware liquify. That's easy for me to say, right? And notice it says face one. If we had a group of people here, if we had a dozen, it would have all of them numbered so you could individually change each face. So let's just go down this. So eyes. We can change each one of these things separately without affecting any of the other parts of the face. So right now it's at 0. So let's just increase, decrease these just to see what happens. Notice that the left eye is bigger and then I get it really tiny. So I'm going to leave it all the way to bigger. And if you want to do it simultaneously, you can click that chain, which that chain means if it's selected means that both are going to be equal. Eye height. I'm going to do the chain again. Going to make him really wide-eyed. Okay, we're talking a little Damien here, aren't we? Eye width. Going to make it really super big. Eye tilt. You can change the eye tilt. I'm not going to change that one as much. It's not really where I'm wanting to go. And then eye distance. You can make him really wide, have a wide space or really narrow. Okay, let's leave that there so we can see our distortion. Okay, the nose. Now the nose, you can control the height. You can kind of make him have a little bit of a snub nose or a longer nose. I'm going to do that. And nose width, you can make it really big or you can make it really tiny and pinched. I'm going to leave it at the pinched. Okay. Now the mouth. Now this is the one that I used the most when I was working at University Student Housing because so many of the people did not want to smile. They would frown at the camera. And so we always wanted to make it look like everybody was really happy. So sometimes I was adjusting their smile just a little bit because I was telling them, smile, smile. Okay, so see, you can bring up the corners or you can make them not have a smile. I'm going to bring up the corners. You can make the lip a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. Here, we're going to make it a little bigger. And the lower lip, we can do the same thing. Yeah, that one makes it smaller. That one makes it bigger. Okay. Mouth width. So we can make a really big mouth or we can make a really super pinched mouth. I'm going to do that because it's sort of the opposite of what the nose is doing. And then mouth height. We can make it a really big mouth. We can make it a really small mouth. I'm going to make a big mouth. Face shape. We can change the forehead height. We can make it a low one. And see, it is pulling the top of the frame there. And then chin. Can make it big chin, a little chin. Make it a big chin. Jawline. Can make a narrow face or a big wide face. I'm going to make him have a narrow face. And face width. Tiny skinny or really big. I think I'm going to make it tiny skinny. Okay. So we have done a lot to this face. And so this is a really good lesson of what not to do. It's not ever a good idea to change someone's face that much unless there's a specific purpose for it. You can do a lot of this kind of stuff in a lot of the filters on your phone, but this is really very dynamic here. I'm going to reset his face. Okay. So he really is reset. It looks funny now, doesn't it? Okay. So that's how that works. There are some hand tools over here, like the forward warp. Let's say that you wanted to move his shirt over a little bit. Now I'm of course not doing a good job. I'm trying to exaggerate it, but you can move his shirt over. Let me see if I can do that better. If I make my brush a lot bigger and I just decide to move his shirt a little bit at a time, now that looks a little more natural. Yeah, that looks a lot more natural. And there are all these other kinds of things you can do. That one is pucker. You can make it all really small like that. This one is, of course, like a hurricane. And so I'm making my brush bigger by touching the bracket. You can make a swirl. You can make someone's face really, or their nose really bulbous. So you can do some really mean things. But anyway, all of these are just different ways uh, to fix a face or make a face differently. But this is a kind of like a superpower. You could make people have some really bad looking faces. So only use this for good. Don't ever use it for bad. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want any of that to stay. He's a cute kid. We don't need to do that to his face. All right, so I'm going to close this one. Y'all don't have to save it. Don't save. I'm going to open the next one, which is a filter one. Have another flower here. I'm going to move my little guy there. Okay, so we can fix this by changing the color. Let me show you the filters here. So we can go up. Oh, this one is also not yeah, 16-bit. I'm going to change it to 8-bit. And now we can see our filter gallery. I'm going to center that. This one is a fantastic one, artistic. And you can change all of this. Paper brightness. Now it's just completely zero. Here it's on white paper. This one is one of my favorites. The cutout, the more number, see, I'm getting fewer and fewer levels. And so if I go all the way up, it starts almost looking like a photograph. And edge simplicity, you can make it very, very modern. So film grain, rough pastels, all kinds of different things. You can put different brush strokes on it, like you can do a splatter or a crosshatch. And sometimes you have to slide these to even see what the effect is. Now you can start seeing some of that. Distort, you can make it look like a different substance. Sketch. Now this usually turns them to black and white. So you can see a charcoal, bas relief, halftone. Now this one I'm going to make bigger. Then you can see halftone. That one is pretty cool. So there's all kinds of different sketching filters you can put onto it. Stylize, the glowing edges. And you can actually change this to a lot of different things. The pen, you can play that with that one. Let me close some of these up. And then texture, you can make it look like it's stained glass or mosaic tile or patchwork. Okay, so that's all of those. Use them with discretion because, quite honestly, people overuse those. So the other thing that we can do with this is we can add filters as an adjustment. So let me move this down just a little bit. Okay, so we can use this to make it black and white and slide these over to emphasize what we want. Make it green. Okay, so I'm going to undo this and turn that off. You can use color balance to change the colors. Yes. Photo filter. The others can do things too, but photo filter is kind of a special one. Choose my subject. And then I'm going to fill that with black. Okay, so now you see over here, I've got my flower masked. So let's change the background some. We can make this really dark. We can make a cooling filter or a red filter, and you can see how that's changing the background. And let's just make it really obvious. You wouldn't want to have it like this, but let's just do some different ones. Okay, let's stop at that one. Now I'm going to unselect that, and now you can see that you can change the colors. Think of all the different things you could do. I'm going to open up another file, remove person. This one is really fun. Fun. Okay. In case y'all haven't noticed, this is the same kid that was in the Monahan Sand Dunes. This is my grandson. So, of course, I have lots of pictures of him. And this is his aunt, and so she has every right to be there, but quite honestly, I want to show you how to get rid of a person just to focus on one. So I have unlocked my layer. I'm going to choose with just my lasso tool, I'm not going to get real exact on this one. I'm just going to pick her right here. And notice this is a really busy background. Okay, so I want to fill this, and I'm going to bring this up a little closer. I want to fill this with content aware. Content aware. Okay. It took her away, but because of the busyness of this background, we are going to have some cleanup to do. But yet it did a pretty good job. Let's get rid of this little kid right here. Oops, I did not do a good job of that. I let go. So click and hold with the lasso tool. A little bit less busy over here. Fill with content aware. Okay. And now that one did a lot better job. I mean, there's still some hard lines here and there, but all in all, not bad. You can go in there and use your clone tool, your brushes, um, your spot brushes, and all of this kind of stuff. Your patch tool. You can use all of those in order to fix this background to look more natural. Okay, let's close this one. Don't save. I'm going to open the next one, which is also a remove person. And I want to show you how, with the background that's correct, you can really do a good job with this. Okay, here's my grandson again. It's his birthday party. So I don't want this little kid, whoever it is, in the photograph. So I'm just going to loosely choose her. I'm not getting too exact here. Okay. Now I'm going to choose content aware. Okay. And boom, she's gone. There's just a little bit of fixing right here on a couple of the seams. They didn't quite match up. But hey, that is awesome. Very, very good job because the background was not busy. And like I say, there's some little picky things to go in there and do, but you can remove your X from your photograph. Just saying. Let's go ahead and get rid of this one. And then the next one is straighten. All right. I showed you how to straighten the other day, and I didn't want to confuse you with too many ways to straighten, so I am going to show you another way now. I'm going to go to my crop tool, perspective crop tool, and I'm going to just uncheck that. So this is really, it has a lot of really straight angles, and you can tell it is crooked as all get out. Probably taken at an angle too. I'm going to move it up a little bit. So I am going to start right at the edge. Normally you would give it a little bit of air, but I'm just going to do it at the edge. So I am going to pick my crop tool and I'm going to choose the perspective crop tool. So I'm going to start up here and you click and then let go and click and let go. And the, the actual trick to it is to make sure that you're even with the lines in your photograph. Okay, so let's see how we did. I'm going to hit the check mark up here. Passable. It's better than I've done in the past. So you can use this to straighten something up so that if it's taken at an angle, you can make it so it's lining straight up. All right, that's all on that one. So the next one is the outer space montage. And that's really kind of leading up to the final project of this particular section. I am going to explain that more in another video, but just know that we're going to be doing these. And we're also going to do a montage for this lab too. All right. So this is the way that I like to think of projects and drawing and that sort of thing. I start with the background first, the thing that is the very farthest away. And so let's look at these two. I'm going to click that and hit my space bar, And I have a preview, and you may not be seeing this because of Zoom and its wonderful things. This is a flower, so that's going to be in the foreground. This one is a galaxy. It's going to be in the background. So I am going to open gallery, the galaxy first. So here is my background. And I may or may not want to do anything to this. I can add some different things to it. I could make it darker. I could make it lighter. Right now it's pretty dark already. I think I want to pull some stars out of it. I don't want it too light, but I kind of like that. Remember the other day whenever we were replacing the backgrounds for some images? Well, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring in another image, and you can do it drag and drop. You can search for it, and I am going to place embedded. You can even turn it on and copy and paste, but I'm just going to use the place embedded. I'm going to click this, and it is a flower. So let's go ahead and say done. And now look at that. We got another smart object symbol here. And that's all well and good, but I'm just going to go ahead and take it off because I don't want to, I may want to do some changes to it that this smart object won't allow me to do. So I am going to rasterize. So I'm under layer, I'm rasterizing smart object. And notice that goes away. I'm going to add myself a mask and I'm going to unselect this. I'm going to select another tool so that I can have select subject. So I have selected my subject. I think that's pretty good. I don't think I really want any of those leaves. I think those are going to fade into nothing. So I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and select and mask just to give myself a little bit of feather. So I'm going to do a 2-point, oops, I hit the one, a 2-point feather. Um, I think that's close enough. Let's go ahead and go with that. Okay, so now I'm going to go up a little bit, and I'm going to see, I see that there is marching ants here, but there's no marching ants on the margins. So I am going to do, and I believe it's in this because I don't want to have to go up to, it does not have that there. Oh, there's the symbol right there. I forgot what, this is a new symbol. This bar has only been around for about a year, so I'm still learning it myself. Okay, so this little box that has the 2 arrows in it, we'll reverse it. And it doesn't, there we go. I didn't click it hard enough. Be sure you click it hard enough. Okay, then I'm going to go here and I'm going to fill this with black. And now I've got just the flower. So deselect. I'm going to get my moving tool and I'm going to bring it down here where I want it. Okay. I'm going to do now, I want to see what it looks like with this level on top because right now it's not being affected by it. So I'm going to move it up here. Oh, I do not like that. I'm going to undo that, move it back down, and call that done. So that is, so when we were just changing the backgrounds, we weren't really thinking about making a story. A montage is about making a story. So there you go. I'm going to close this without saving. So now I'm going to open up the actual thing that we're going to work on. This is the lab cat. The lab cat is the one that you turn in. Open it up, and I'm going to show, well, you can see the example. Whenever we open it up, you can see it. Let me see. I'm just going to go ahead and open it up so you can see it. Okay, this is the example. What we're going to do is we're going to have a background. We're going to have some objects in the foreground, and we're going to add some shading at the bottom. And there's a sticker here. There's a cat riding this moped. There, he's drinking Red Bull with a straw, with a hat, and with glasses on. Okay, so I'm going to show you generally what needs to be done, but I want you to take it upon yourself to get to this point. And the cat can be different. There's actually even a second cat that you can pick and a second pair of glasses. You don't have to pick, you can pick one or the other or both. But I do want you to get the flavor of this. I want a really blurred out background. I want the Vespa in front, and I want all of these objects placed on the Vespa in some way or another. And notice that the cat may not be, you may have to do some extra stuff because the cat will probably be placed right on top of the mirror and everything else. So I'm going to show you a few things, but I don't want to influence you. I just want you to go crazy and let it be your own. Okay, so I'm not going to save that. Now I'm going to open up the background. And I've got these numbered so that it goes on kind of the way that I would do it myself. So I'm going to open the background. All right, so now we've got a really crisp photograph of West Village. Maybe some of you have lived there. So I am going to make it really blurry. And since I want to make the whole thing blurry, I'm not going to use the blur gallery. I'm going to use the blur overall. So Gaussian is a really good blur. You can try some of these others and use one if you want to. But I'm going to use the Gaussian blur. And the more you drag it, be sure to have your preview on so that you can see what you're doing. I'm going to make it about 12 pixels. That's a nice blur. Okay. Then I'm going to place my next object. So number 2, I'm going to put in the Vespa. And so I'm going to say done. And notice we have a smart object there. So let's go to layer and rasterize smart object. That way, if you want to do some changes to it, you can. So I want this to be bigger. I'm going to move it down here, or I'm going to put it on the sidewalk because that's, I'm assuming, where it would probably be. I want to make it a little bigger. So I'm going to increase it. Now you can drag it like this if you want to, or you can go to the edit and then transform. Either one you want to do. It's sometimes a little easier to do it with the transform, but let's just go with this. Okay, so now I've got something that has a whole lot of background. So I'm gonna select something else here. I don't want any of that selected. Okay, so I'm going to give it a mask. I am going to go here and choose one of my selection tools to give me, and I'm choosing this one to select the subject. And let's see how it does. Oh, wow. The last time I did that, it was not nearly as good as this. Now we're missing a few things like the mirror and is that a brake? I'm assuming that's a brake. I am not a motorcyclist. And then a little bit of the stoplight is, or brake light. And then down here. So remember what we do is I'm going to use the poly tool, which is right here. It's the one that's got the angles on it. And remember, to add to a mask, we need to hit the shift key, which gives us the plus. So I'm going to, okay. And then I'm going to get just a little bit here. And then I'm going to get a little bit here. And so on and so forth. And so I want you to add all of this stuff. I'm going to do it really crudely and really fast because I don't want this video. Oops. And I just clicked. So what am I going to do? You can go up to your history where it says deselect and go to the last poly layer. and you'll get back everything you had. Alrighty. So I'm going to call it good, and I'm going to go ahead and mask my motorcycle. But remember, we need to make sure that we have the motorcycle selected right now. We need to have the background selected. So be sure to hit this little invert. And now I'm going to fill this with black. And make sure you've got the right one because I was just about to put black over the whole thing. Make sure you have your mask selected. Okay, boom, deselect. Okay, so there we've got the Vespa. So next we're going to add a cat. So you can choose cat A or cat B. I think I'm going to choose cat. Oh, there we go. And I just opened it up. That's fine. I can I can show you how to do this instead of um, the place embedded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all. So you can do Command S, Command A. I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong thing. Command S is save. Command A. Okay. Then you can do cut and copy or whatever you want to do. I do the key commands. Command C. Now I've copied it. Then I come back to my ongoing project and I do a Command V. And now I've got the cat. Now this time it does not come in as a smart object, so we don't have to do anything to that. I am going to go ahead and do my mask first. I've chosen my masking tool so I can get the select subject. It's selected the subject really super well. I'm completely happy with that. You can go in and detail the tail out if you want. Okay, but I have the cat selected. I do not have the the background selected. So I'm going to hit my selection to make it invert. Make sure that I've got my mask selected. Fill it with black. And there's my cat. Deselect. I'm going to move this with my move tool. And that cat is just a little too big. So I am going to make him a little bit smaller. And I'm going to put this cat right here and, oops, and angle it a little bit. There we go. With the little curved symbol. Okay. And now this cat, I didn't bring the mirror in, so I'm not going to do anything to that. And it's above the motorcycle, so that all looks pretty good. And this is how each layer goes. You bring in the photograph by either opening it and copying and pasting it, dragging and dropping it, or by placing embedded. So I'm going to just let go and let you guys do this. This is so much fun for me. I just loved it. Oh, I am going to do one more thing. Sorry. I'm going to go back to my layer and I'm going to hit a plus. So now I've got a layer in between my background and the motorcycle. I'm going to do a shadow on this one. So I'm going to get my brush tool and notice when I select it, I've got all of these different choices. I'm going to make sure that my brush is not too hard. It's got, see, hard, it would be really hard edged. So I'm going to make it really super feathery. I'm going to make it 0. And it's not quite big enough. I'm going to make it a little bigger. You can adjust it according to your needs. All right. So opacity is 100%. That's too much. I'm going to make this about, and you can just select and put in a number. And the flow, I'm gonna I'm gonna do about that. I'm gonna change this a little bit to see what happens. Okay, so now I'm gonna go down here below the motorcycle, click and drag. So it's left a little, and you can go over it again because it is accumulative. Okay, so now that looks kind of like a shadow. I am going to take my eraser tool, which is also just like all the other brushes. I've got a really small brush and I'm going to make it bigger. And let's see what else we've got. Hardness is at 100. I'm going to make it 0. And I'm going to take off some of this at the top. I'm going to hit Shift and drag it across. Okay, now it looks like the motorcycle's floating a little bit, but that's still okay. And then I'm just going to kind of clean up these edges because it's not going to be that. Okay, not a perfect shadow, but notice whenever you're making your montages that everything needs to look like it's sitting on something. Like right now, the cat is sitting on the motorcycle and it's in the place that shows it's actually sitting. This motorcycle is sitting on the sidewalk, and you can tell by the background that it has shadows everywhere. So be sure to put a shadow underneath the motorcycle. Okay, so I'm going to step back and let all of you guys work on it. It's basically the same step for each one of the different items. Be sure to put at least one of the cats and at least one of the glasses. And I don't remember if there's 2 straws, but one of each of the items at least. And we have a whole bunch of items. I'm going to open this up to see how many again, because I don't want to tell you and then be wrong. Come on. Sometimes it doesn't recognize my clicks. Okay, so we have 8 different items. So I want you to use all 8 items. But of course, you can choose which cat and you can choose which glasses you want to use. Okay, so happy Photoshopping. I will see you in the last video for the Photoshop section.